he was force fed like work to get him involved, and they did, but it wasn't to what he wanted to do in Chicago. Ergo, that's why they sucked most of the season, aside from one game against the Raiders. I remember. And by the way, remember that was with Tyson Bagent, who is a guy that works within what he wanted to do, and they ran the ball, and Bagent did a lot of play action and all the things like that, and they were successful. Imagine that. Imagine that.
All right. Well, I actually got 301. So we got a little bit of chatter in there. Let's roll this thing, and then we'll come back for some juicy gossip.
That's it.
Game day, baby! Let's go!
Welcome, everyone, to NFL Nation Live, our Week 23 show, our final show for the 2023 season. It is Super Bowl week, about 72 hours away or so from kickoff. I am Ref Guru, along with the Hall of Famer, Wayne Violator Mabry, and the legendary Pirate, Captain Jack. We're going to go through the breakdown for this week's game on Sunday, Super Bowl 58, a bunch of other gossip that's going on, other things that might be on our mind. We'll open up the chat here also just a little bit. But before we get to all of that, Wayne, welcome to the show. What are your quick first thoughts, my friend?
Man, after all of the festivities and the hype and the build-up, and Vegas is going to love this weekend. This whole week, matter of fact, has been outrageous as far as all of the business and money that's flowed into town. So with ticket prices the way they are, hey, I'll enjoy it from the comfort of the party I'll be at.
Yeah, I would like to hear a little bit about that. I was only $10,000 short of being able to go to the game, but it is what it is. But in any case, I'm pretty sure Cap's liquored up, ready to go. I'm almost liquored up and almost ready to go. V, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go. Got to get that liquor, though. Let's go.
Welcome, everyone, to NFL Nation Live, our Week 23 show. We are officially at the end of the 2023 NFL season, within about 72 hours to kick off for Super Bowl 58, where the San Francisco 49ers will take on the Kansas City Chiefs. There's a lot going on this week. The teams landed like Sunday or so, and there's been some press conference and other stuff. We'll get the chat open here in just a little bit. Thanks for joining us, everybody. But as far as you know, you guys, what's been going on before we get to the actual game part? What do you hear about what's going on and what's been happening this week in Las Vegas?
I'll just say that the silence on that was like, okay. The Raiders did make the headlines. And in a bad way. I think Janorius Robertson, the kid that we picked up who played very well at the latter part of the season, came up from the practice squad, used to play for Florida State, played well on the defensive line, signs a contract, and then goes out and gets a DWI.
Yeah.
I mean, really? So that's the type of press that you don't want heading into
I hear you. And welcome to the show, by the way. San Francisco will blow out Kansas City. It won't even be close. Remember, I said this. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. But you guys in the green room before we went live, we're talking and chattering about some stuff going on with the Raiders. In addition to that, some signings, V?
There was an Ocho Cinco. We don't know what position, as Cap alluded to. We don't know what position he's going to be coaching, but he's part of our staff. Also, they brought in a former Chicago O-line coach. I think it's Luke Steckel, if I'm pronouncing it right. Steckel, and he's going to coach our tight ends. So I don't know.
So we're getting all the Bears rejects, huh?
Well, the thing is, if his last name is Steckel, and we know that there is no, remember,
the former Vikings coach,
right? Les Steckel comes to mind. Not that there's any of that. What do you call it when you have a bunch of family
nepotism?
Thank you. Yes, see, I threw that up at you so you can actually look smart for once there, Ref.
It's the first time all year, but hey, you waited for week 23, but here we go.
Hey, better late than never. But yeah, there is no nepotism in the NFL when it comes to coaches, when it comes to officials. But I'm just saying, if it is, and with the last, Steckel is not a common last name.
No.
So I bet, and his name is Luke L. Steckel. L. Steckel. I would say if you put a bet on it in Vegas, and I'm sure you can bet on things in Vegas, that he is a family member of Les Steckel, used to be the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings.
Plus, he's in the Midwest. Wasn't Steckel the senior, whatever, father Steckel, whatever we're calling him? Wasn't he a special teams coach too at one point before he became something else?
Yeah.
Then I think he was a defensive coordinator or something, or I don't know. Maybe Ocho Cinco is going to be like the game ball PSI inspector or something. I mean,
well, either that or he's going to pass out the Sharpies or have the things available when he gets them at the end of the at the end zone and like sign stuff, or he can have people wear the gold jacket.
You both are wrong. He's going to be the end zone dance coordinator.
Oh, well, I'm glad we resolved it. So Daniel says heard Ocho was joking. He was not part of the staff. So V, is that fake news or is that for reals?
It hasn't been confirmed, but it was supposed to have been a real transaction. Right. So
that people were asking me about that, and I said, well, I haven't heard or seen anything. Then I saw his personal thing that says, yes, I am a part of the staff, and he was taking a picture with AP. Right. But again, the Raiders haven't said anything, so we don't know if it's bull or not.
Got it. So let's recap what we do know. We know that Antonio Pierce is the head coach. We know that the Bears reject is our offensive coordinator. They kept.
Don't be so hard on him. Don't be so hard on him.
Well, I'm glad it's not. I'm glad it's not Puffball Kingsbury, whatever the hell his name is. Jeez.
Yeah. K. He's 1K short of the KKK.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
2K.
Yeah, we call it
squared.
Yeah.
K squared. Yeah. All right. So Pierce is the head coach. Doodad, whatever his Bears name is the OC. We kept the
Luke Getsy.
Yeah.
A lot of Luke's coming in from Chicago.
Yeah.
Great.
Luke, I am your father.
Yeah, I know, right?
There's another Luke out there that we've dealt with before, Luke Musgrave now. Is he floating around somewhere? But
messed up everything they did. So
I just want to throw that in there, man.
Yeah. Barf up later, we will. So we got the OC and the DC. We got what's Marvin Lewis doing? I heard he's in there somewhere. He's like he's probably special assistant to the head coach of the head coach of the owner, special assistant.
He's whatever the hell he wants, man. He's going to be like the senior defensive coordinator, kick ass and take name guy who comes in and straightens shit out guy.
Okay.
And the thing is, it doesn't matter because we've had that on the staff with Rob Ryan.
Yeah.
So and notice that Rob Ryan's name is not appeared anywhere. Right.
I'd rather have the Bears OC. Yeah. Well, I don't want any Ryan involved with anything. You can have all the Lukes you want, but no Ryans.
Well, that's fine. You got Marvin Lewis who's in there. You have Tom Coughlin who's still advising.
Right.
So you got two head coaches that have winning demeanor.
Mostly, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Winning demeanor. Tom Coughlin, who's won 2 Super Bowls before he screwed up the Jacksonville Jaguars organization. And you got Marvin Lewis, who was a damn good defensive coordinator.
The second
time. And a long time head coach. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So I like that. Yeah. Now, like as we were postulating, you don't want Cliff Kingsbury to come in who says, hey, I've been a head coach. I'll really F things up here. And it's a good thing that we don't get him. Chip Kelly did not come in.
Thank God.
And that would have been the same thing. Yeah. A guy who thinks he knows stuff and he doesn't.
Yeah.
So this Getsy, who was widely touted as like the Johnson that's on the Lions a couple years ago. The same thing, touted, lots of good things about him. He will definitely help out in the fact is that he is very good for the running game. He is a very good person who's worked with Devontae Adams when he was with Green Bay. He worked with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, but really, it's kind of like Bill Belichick say, yeah, I won, but I didn't have anything to do with Tom Brady. Well, it's kind of the same thing. Getsy was there in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. So, yeah, of course he's going to look good. But I like the fact that they have that good rapport. Yeah. And Matt LaFleur, the Green Bay coach, had a lot of positive things about Getsy. So I'm
all right.
Very positive.
So a couple comments in there that make sense. Matt says obviously Adams has approved the Getsy hiring as OC it for what you alluded to earlier, Cap. And then Daniel says hope Adams stays with the Getsy hire, meaning we don't want Devontae to get traded, right?
Exactly.
After all that.
Yeah, after all of that.
I mean, it would make sense not to at this point, right?
To me, it would. Yeah. Just stick with it. That's familiarity, so he can be like a coach on the field, so to speak, because he already knows Getsy's system. So
then, well, okay, now so then the bigger issue now is we turn our attention not so much at the current moment, but most other than two teams, a lot of teams, but for practical purposes, turn their attention to the draft. Where are the Raiders going to go?
Yeah.
With that, you think they're gonna trade up to get somebody? I don't see O'Connell staying as the starter. I just don't.
I don't either, but here's the deal, Rev. I don't see him jumping like everybody's speculating. Oh, they're just gonna go up to first or second. I don't see him selling the farm out for.
Well, that's the thing. How much farm animals are left to sell? I mean, the 4-H fair is kind of bare right now. I mean, the Raiders. I mean, other than money and future draft picks, what do you really have from a collateral standpoint besides Max Crosby and Jacobs to really put out there that somebody would be interested?
Well, no, you don't have Jacobs because Jacobs' contract is done at the end of the league year. Right. He's a free agent.
He's a free agent. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but they could re-sign him, right? Is he restricted or unrestricted?
He's an unrestricted free agent.
So he can sign whoever he wants to, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that Daniels says about Jaden Daniels. Yeah, I've heard that rumor too. But I think he's going to be more coveted than we even imagine because there's a lot of teams looking at it.
Yeah, and I firmly believe that it's going to be. Oh, this is the movie I was trying to watch on the damn flight home, and I couldn't remember what the hell it was. Wait a second, I got to while I get the. It's not Serpico. I just watched Serpico. Anyway, I'll get it later. Point is, no, I'm Spartacus. Wrong movie.
Spartacus. That's it.
Yeah. It's wrong movie, man. Kirk Douglas, Al Pacino. You're really off. Anyway,
surprise
hey, Paula's in here. Love for my lady Paula in Utah. Gotta say hello. That's my girl. But we were talking about what were we freaking talking about before I went on a tangent? Boy, that's the Utah, question of the day.
Curious.
I don't.
You were talking about Spartacus and
Lydia. She says
yes. Yeah, it's Lydia, but she goes by Paula. She goes by Paula.
Got it.
Got
there
you go. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Lydia.
She's a great lady. Wonderful. I can't wait to see her hopefully soon.
That's awesome.
Point being is that we were talking about what they were going to be doing. Getsy, is that me?
I don't know.
But you were talking about the draft, right?
Yeah. Thank you for getting me back into the thing.
That's what I do.
I don't think that we're going to go up for Jaden Daniels, and with KK, one short K. Going to DC, I think he's going to do everything in his power to trade up the one. That would be the Commanders in Kingsbury. So he gets his guy. So if the Bears, let's say that they get the Bears to trade down one spot, which wouldn't be bad because it's not going to be that much.
Yeah.
To trade down one spot, they're going to get some good things, but it's not going to be a king's ransom, right? So so let's say DC goes up to 1, Chicago goes pardon me, goes to 2. Then Chicago wants to deal because somebody wants to go back and get some picks, or they want to do what they want to do. It's all about who wants to go where. Matt was saying that New England might want to trade back. New England's in the number 3 spot. So maybe we could trade with New England if we have the juncture or not the juncture, the cojones, the nervos to go up to number 3. I don't think we need to do that. I mean, if you go to number 2, you think that somebody's going to go to 2 to get May because May's on the board. Yeah. Then you got Jaden Daniels at 3, right? So that's what you could probably do. I don't know. So I mean, honestly, at 13, you're going to get a very, very good person in the draft. Either the quarterback that's left over that people want to get, and that's not my pick.
Right.
But I'm talking about the best offensive lineman or defensive tackle in that spot at 13. Definitely. Fill that
in the first round.
Fill that in the first friggin' round. Yes, get them in the first round. It's not the glitzy pick. It's not the glamour pick, but it's what you do to build your effing football team. Is you get the big ugly, whether he's on offense or defense, for your line, and then go get somebody else later. Because we're going to get a free agent vet at quarterback.
I think so.
We're going to draft a quarterback. What round to be determined? And we still got the kid Brown that was put on the futures contract. If he doesn't pan out, that might be the third quarterback in the room. Okay, because Brown, if they like what they see with him between now and the draft, maybe he's the guy that sticks and say, hey, we don't got to draft a quarterback.
So
or we can draft the quarterback in 5, 6, 7. Something in there. That's what's going on. They're going to have a vet. They're going to have AOC 4. They might have Brown, and they might have a draft pick. That's the draft room, or that's the quarterback.
Matt,
I know it's long.
That's okay. Matt, where's Newton out of? Just curious.
I think he's out of Texas.
Oh, Texas.
He's out of Texas.
Hey, Kev, welcome to the show.
Texas,
all right. Well, we've got
Illinois, something like that.
Before we get to all the craziness,
What's up, Kev?
We do have a small little detail to get to that's going on Sunday. I think it's the Super Bowl. Really? The San Francisco 49ers is going to take on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Drink heavily. That's why I got my Canadian whiskey that was given to me by Richie Richey when he came down here before the season started. It's still unopened. Wow. I think I might have to wait to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think I'd open that, put a straw in it, and just sit back and with some chicken wings and go for it.
Well, if I do that, I won't go to my school on Monday. But that's
details. Yeah. Well, I mean, worse things could happen. Anyway, so San Francisco's been complaining all week about the practice field. I think that's a distraction, just to keep the media away from what they're really doing, which is practicing hard to beat the Chiefs. But guys, this is a big one. It's a rematch from a couple of years ago, Super Bowl 54. Quite a few players still around from that game.
Plus the referee,
who was getting his third Super Bowl. Pretty rare.
And he was calling the last Chiefs-Niners Super Bowl when it was a couple years ago.
54.
Bill Vinovich.
So it's the first time an official has had a second or more Super Bowl and officiated the same teams.
Rematch.
So another officials trivia to go along with the Jim Tunney one, which is who's the only referee to have back-to-back Super Bowls in any case. But I think Tunney had 10 and 11. But in any case, the 49ers will technically be the visitor. Not that really matters that much because we're on a neutral site. Right. But how do you guys like this matchup? Let's go first with San Francisco's offense against Kansas City's defense. Any thoughts on that?
Good, because I was going to go just the opposite, but yeah.
Okay, go ahead. If you want to go a different way, take us there. That's fine.
I was because I've been looking at some notes here.
Okay.
And I did some research on the Niners linebacking core, of course.
Okay, so let's talk about that. You want to go Niners defense against Chiefs offense. Okay,
Chiefs offense. And they've got a couple of guys there, Warner and Greenlaw, who can actually cover Kelsey or at least put hands on him off the line
agree.
of scrimmage.
I agree.
And
Greenlaw is going to be a wild card for them. I think that maybe that the Chiefs aren't ready for.
yeah, absolutely. And but just their football IQ between them, and then you've got Bosa and Chase Young, I think, on the ends. So that running game, and Pacheco has he's dealing with a toe injury or something. He's dinged up, and I don't see that. They're going to run their screen passes as per usual. But
they're ringing around the rosy crap.
Yeah. Well, then somebody asked them about that, so they kind of smirked. But I'm saying overall defensive speed, I give the Niners the advantage on the speed part, because they're so stout on the front and in the middle. They're so stout that the corners and safeties, man, have a nice day of it.
Well, you could argue about the speed factor the other side too. San Francisco's offense is, they're not parking in the handicap spot.
No, not at all. But I wanted to make note to that Niners D, and I can't even believe I'm talking about this like this, but I think they have the speed to really get after Mahomes and frustrate him. He's got his left, I think his left guard still has a pec injury, and they're not sure whether he's going to be able to go.
Yeah, the Chiefs definitely have some offensive line issues. They're going to have to get creative, I think. And I think for the Chiefs, points early is going to matter for this team. The longer this game goes, the more time that the 49ers have to adjust to the Chiefs. If the Chiefs can't get a lead, just look at the Detroit Lions, right? 14-0. Then they get an increased lead. What was it, 24-3 or 7 at halftime or whatever? They lose that game in part because they forgot to show up for the second half. But the 49ers made the adjustments that they needed to make. And I'm not saying that the Chiefs can't make adjustments either. But if you're not sure what's working, the longer the game goes that it's not working, you're not sure what to adjust through, the playbook starts to get a little thinner. Then you start to get desperate. I could see if the 49ers get out early in this game, it might be tough for the Chiefs to catch up.
Right.
God, I hope.
I like what Kev said, about that Chiefs receiving core. And they always – Kelsey's included in that. But other than Kelsey and Rice,
Well, Scantling's a wild card in my opinion, V. I agree with Kevin. I agree with you, V, with regards to that.
Yeah.
But Scantling's a little bit of a wild card there. I don't think he creates a lot of issues to the extent that he wins the MVP award for his heroics on Sunday. But that is a little bit of a wild card that maybe the Chiefs can get some mismatches there on.
Right.
But I'm really struggling to figure out without some turnovers, a bad day by Purdy, where the Chiefs are really going to get the field position that they're going to need in order to be able to win this.
Well, actually, Scantling in the postseason has been a mirror opposite of him being a F up in the regular season, because he was dropping a lot of passes. He was basically doing nothing. He did get molested, and I will say that for real. He did get molested in the game where the defensive back was all over him, and it was a makeup call. And I can't remember which game it was, but the game that the Chiefs lost because of a makeup call when Mahomes was going out of bounds and he got hit right at the line, but he was not.
He was not
out of
bounds. He was still in the field of play. Yeah.
Right. So the makeup call was when Scantling got severely molested. I think it was when they played the Packers. And the guy was all over him, and they had a no call. That was the makeup call. But that's the only time Scantling ever really did anything in the regular season, and he didn't even get his pass interference call, and he would have dropped it anyway. Well, he wouldn't have dropped. But I'm just saying, the way he was at that time, he probably would have dropped it. In the postseason, he's made like 2 game-clinching catches in a row when the Chiefs needed it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. But I can see where the Chiefs come up with 20 points. I'm having trouble with them getting much more than that. And I just think San Francisco's better than that from that standpoint. Matt's got a good point. Maybe the 49ers want to put in that tape from the Raiders victory. You think there's anything in there that they could use?
Oh yeah, yeah. Figure out how to just keep Mahomes under wraps.
That's it.
Yeah, keep him under wraps. Keep him so that. And the funny thing is that he still ran for those first downs against us, but for the most part, he had to do that on his own because the receivers were covered, everybody was covered, and they had him in such a strait that he had to be the runner that he was at that time because everybody was covered well and he had a lot of pressure on him. So if they do the same thing, I think the same results. Keep the receivers covered, and that includes, the tight ends and the receivers and the running backs. And then you have to have him make a move. And as V was alluding to, the linebackers are quick and can go side to side. It's kind of like Miyagi. Show me side to side. Yeah, show me side to side. Yeah. And they can do it. So I think that would play into San Francisco's strengths there. I think it'll be to their benefit. And basically, if you smack Kermit upside the head
early and often
a couple times, he gets pissy and moany.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too, keep in mind, San Francisco is number 3 in scoring this year. And Kansas City was 15th. And that's been my issue. And of course, I bet against them twice now, and they've managed to come up with wins, against Buffalo and against Baltimore. But I hate to bet against them again, being the underdog, and they'll come out with the proper attitude. I just think that Kyle Shanahan's had enough of this not winning the Super Bowl thing, and I think the 49ers again on offense. Matt's got a point in there about McCaffrey being an issue, but that they've got so many weapons with Kittle, Ayuk, Samuels.
Yeah.
I mean, and is it Jenkins? There's got another guy in there too. So I just don't know if the Chiefs are going to be able to handle all that on defense because I don't think they've really faced much of that throughout the course of the season. The other question that I had for you guys, I got a couple, but one of them was, who do you think's got the better special teams? I think the kicking game's pretty even, quite frankly. I'd give a slight edge to Kansas City at this point, kicking, punting, and all that stuff. But what do you guys think?
Yeah. I would say I would give them the edge because of their kicker. Yeah.
But Butker really doesn't miss very often.
No, he's pretty accurate.
And I don't even know who the friggin' 49ers kicker is. I'll be honest. I don't know who.
Well, it's not Robbie Gould. I remember that's the last one I remember.
I was thank you for taking my line. I said the last time I remembered it was Robbie Gould, and I haven't been paying attention since. So.
Welcome to the show, Vicky.
What's up, Vic? I like what Matt said about do what the Ravens didn't do.
Run the
friggin' ball.
Well, here's the thing, right? We said this in the divisional round. We emphasize this primarily in the divisional round. I think it matters all the time. But running the ball and play good defense, that's regular season stuff that you get in December to make the playoffs. But points early matter. And we could know something here right off the bat. If the 49ers win the toss and defer, put the Chiefs on offense first. Chiefs get a 3-and-out. San Francisco gets some score, 3-0, 7-0. I think, and then you're down to, let's call it 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. I'm not saying the Chiefs can't come back, but they only scored 17 at Baltimore for a Baltimore team that really didn't show up, if you will.
Yeah.
I just don't think San Francisco is going to give in at this point, especially after that win against Detroit. I think they're going to come into this thing confident. And I think even if the Chiefs get up 14-0, I don't think they will. I don't think it's going to be any time for the 49ers to panic. But I'm going to be really curious about the coin toss to see who wins that and what they do with it.
I love it, Daniel. Yeah. See, like Daniel said, just get after Mahomes. I won't call him that other animal.
I'll call it Kermit.
I'm trying to be as nice as possible.
Google says Jake Moody is the 49ers kicker.
Jake,
okay.
Wow.
I didn't confirm that, but that's what Google says.
See, they haven't beaten him. Yeah. Make him feel it with that D line. Exactly. They don't have to blitz him. Is what I was going to say.
That's a really good point, V, is they don't have to, but
They don't have to blitz
that
him.
was coming with that after those comments is what if they do?
Ooh,
I mean, I don't know. They're pretty good at disguising
right.
their blitz packages. Is Mahomes? I won't say he's not good enough to read that, but in the pressures of a Super Bowl, especially, and I know he's won a couple, but in the pressure of the game there and all of that, I just don't know if they're going to be able to handle everything that San Francisco can put at them. I think the Chiefs are going to have to get creative with something that the 49ers haven't seen, but you can't get creative to the score of 24 points. You can get creative for 7. Maybe you can get creative for a field goal, but I just think that if the Chiefs don't get up, and they don't get up early, San Francisco is going to have too much time to adjust. And if they can get that running game going, then you're going to start to hear the tick, tick, tick of the clock. And I don't know if the Chiefs will have enough time. I'll be really interested to see what the Chiefs' game plan is against this 49er team. But I agree. I'd be taking a look at what the Raiders did. And I think probably the Chiefs didn't put everything into it that game that they could have. This is the Super Bowl. But the fact is, they still won the game, right? So there's got to be something there that some information in there that might be valuable. And I think when you've got somebody like Max Crosby, very similar to Bosa with regards to what you can do on defense, plus they've got really their defensive line overall is pretty good. And like you said, matching up those linebackers, I'd be really curious to know what's going on in that offensive meetings with the Chiefs.
Let's see, between Armstead, Young, and Bosa, all 3 of those guys warrant double team. And I've seen variations of that throughout the season here. But what I'm saying, without having to blitz Mahomes, when they do, they can disguise it very well because he's not expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's why we're going to watch the game, because we could care less who wins.
Well, right.
But
that's the thing. If he checks down to that, who's he really got to check down to that? If they take Kelsey out of the game, right? And Pacheco's Pacheco's going to be numbed up, taped up, and ducked up.
Yeah, that.
He'll be able to, run the ball effectively and all this. Oh, I'm not really hurt stuff. We'll find out after the game. So he's not going to be so banged up he can't run the ball. I don't think he can carry it, 23, 30 times for the game. But I just don't know who he's going to check down to.
I mean, other than Edwards-Helaire, because I know he's still there. You got Pacheco, Edwards-Helaire,
and
there. I think there's one more.
Is Tony?
I think Williams is another kid too, wasn't it? Williams.
Yeah. Williams. That's why. That's who I was looking for. Yeah, Tony is a quote-unquote wide receiver gadget. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not a running back. He's a wide receiver gadget.
But I'm thinking the physicality is going to set the tone. It's going to be like a heavyweight. I always call them heavyweight bouts. I think it's going to be that heavy slugging in the beginning and the body shots that's going to wear one of the teams down.
Yeah.
That about the middle of the third, you're going to be able to see it.
Yeah, and what was I going to say with that? Forgot my thought. Is Taylor Swift going to show up? Do we know? I know we don't care, but I'm just curious. If you guys
I thank you for saying what do we really effing care?
No, we don't, but it's
Yeah. What was it saying that because she didn't say anything about him in the Grammy Awards that he might be in the doghouse?
No, I doubt it.
Well, I did hear that they have a house rented in near Lake Las Vegas, I guess. And I guess they're going to have an extended stay after the game or something like that. So I don't know what's in the works there, But the media is building it up to be a proposal during the game.
And I can see that. And that's what that's why they want what the NFL and the media want is for the Chiefs to win. Kelsey gets the MVP, and then they go up to him. Hey, Travis Kelce, you just won the Super Bowl. What are you going to do?
I'm going to Disney.
I'm taking Taylor Swift. I'm taking Taylor Swift to Disneyland for our honeymoon, something like that. That's what they want. That's exactly what they want.
And I'm leaning more that way. The more stuff that I'm hearing, it's
The only problem with that is they're going to have to win it outright because Mr. No Chippy's not going to let them have it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to give it away. And if anything, that I would say just on the hunch that officiating team leans NFC, if you ask me. But Mr. No Chippy is not going to let anybody get away with anything in that game. Of all the games to have him in the Super Bowl, this was it. Because he's not going to let this thing get away. That's for damn sure.
Well, but even saying that Vinovich and his crew, granted it's probably a different crew, but Vinovich 4 Super Bowls ago when this was the contest, he leaned towards Kansas City per what their reports were. That's why the Niners were kind of whining that, hey, why are you letting this guy back? Because he did a lot of calls against us and for them. Maybe, and I'm hoping that it goes the other way this year.
In fairness,
so they get the quote unquote makeup call Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, it's ironic because Super Bowl 54 was 50 years after they won their first one.
Wow.
So right? The Chiefs won Super Bowl 4.
I was laughing at Kev. He says Cleve Farrell could be a Super Bowl champ on Monday. LOL. I'm just go imagine that. But he's right. He could be.
Yeah.
Well,
he's played well for the
Niners. He's played well. Yeah.
He's played well. Yep.
Well, stuff happens, I guess.
Luck of you can't make it up. It's just the luck of the draw, as they used to tell me.
Yeah.
Or who's drawing?
Yeah.
But good stuff.
So where's everybody going to be? I want to be at home watching in the comforts of my own home. Cap, are you going to be in Florida or are you going to be in Las Vegas?
Well, I can't be in Las Vegas because I have, like I said, my class starts 06 Monday morning. So unless the U.S. Air Force gives me a straight flight with some fighter jet, escort. That's what they were saying with Taylor Swift, that she's going to get a straight flight out of Tokyo with escort.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if they want it to happen, it can happen. Yeah. But I don't think they're going to afford me the same opportunity because as soon as the Super Bowl's over, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, well, it starts late for you already, like 6:30 Eastern time.
6,
yeah. I'll be able to watch the Super Bowl and 60 Minutes and whatever else is Murder, She Wrote, whatever else comes on CBS Sunday nights after the game.
The minute it goes final, I'm going right next door into the bedroom.
Got it. V, where are you going to be Super Bowl Sunday?
Be at a Corona Super Bowl watch party at Dre's Club.
Nice.
In
okay.
Vegas, yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And Saturday we'll be at Flankers from like 1 to 5. We got a few players coming through. Coach will be through at 4:30. So looking forward to meeting him, doing that photo op, and then I got to get ready for dinner myself. So busy, fast weekend. Big turnaround.
Really fast, yeah. But then the big letdown on Monday, it's like there's all this craziness for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden crickets. I mean, there'll be some news after the game. Obviously, it'll go into the middle of next week, but with no more games to be played for 200 days or whatever, it's going to feel weird, right?
Where they're going to focus is right on to the combine, which comes up pretty quick. Everybody's going to focus right on that.
Yeah, and then the draft. I mean, I know they'll try to turn their attention to all that. Spring football will take some of that at the end of March into early April. But all that. But yeah, it's going to feel a little bit weird not having a Sunday without football, because I remember back in September they were like, okay, football every Sunday through February. Well, here we are, right?
Here we are already.
Daniel says I'm on vacation on Monday. Super
What's
Bowl
up,
starts
Anna?
late in Germany. Oh, yeah. Yep. Welcome to the show, Anna. Let's see. James says there's a bet line on how many times Super Bowl will show Taylor Swift. The line is 2.5 times
Oh
only.
my God! They'll have. Is that during the game or all day? Because I mean, you're going to have all of that. I said on my show the other day, I said I wouldn't be surprised if it. Well, I said 50. I was being a little facetious. I bet you any money that she's on at least 20
times. That's easy.
Yeah.
20.
I'd call it. You know what? They'll probably try to make it 58 to go along with the game.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, well,
20 times easy. I mean, if it's only 2.5 times, bet the over on that, man.
Mhm.
That's shit. Anna says that's if her plane makes it there. Yeah.
Yes.
So here's the rub. If you're not up to speed on the whole Taylor Swift thing, is that she's got a gig in Tokyo the night prior, right? So she's got to get off the stage and get through security and get her bags packed and all that stuff onto the plane and then fly across the ocean into Las Vegas. At least she's not going to New York, which would add another 4 hours to it. But yep, she has a concert in Tokyo. Yeah. Isn't Gruden trial after the Super Bowl?
I think it is scheduled to come up.
I'm sure it is, since it's already Thursday and it's not going to start tomorrow. That's a safe bet that it's after the Super Bowl. I'm not being sarcastic, Kev. I'm just saying, more likely.
No. I think it was the 12th, which is the Monday. I think it starts on the 12th.
Oh, of what? Oh, of
Gruden trial.
Okay, of February. Yeah, okay, 12. Yeah. They have a spot at the airport for all. I don't doubt that.
Too. Yeah,
I don't doubt that. With the police escort,
and everything.
Yeah, I'm sure of that. Yep.
Or a helicopter right to the
stadium.
To the stadium.
Well, if a stadium didn't have a roof, they'd probably drop her right down to the top of it.
come down on the ladder, man. Come on.
All right, so we've pretty well nailed the Super Bowl and I want to get to James's question with regards to who's our starting quarterback will be next season. But before we go there, let's go around the table. Who are your picks for Sunday, Cap?
Niners, just because I can't stand the Chiefs and I can't stand the Niners, but because I can't stand the Chiefs more, and I don't live in Northern California, where a lot of Northern California Raider fans are rooting for the Chiefs because they have to deal. They don't have to deal with they deal with gang, bang, bang all the time. And I understand that, which is why I rooted for the Chiefs when they played the fake Pirates here, because I know exactly how they feel. I get it. But since I'm not in Northern California and I don't have to deal with gang, bang, bang BS, I'm going to root for the Niners to win so that we can stick it to the Chiefs, and then I can get on my phone and call up my boy Alex, Mr. Smug, and just go.
So and had a comment in there all about the refs. I think the crew is okay. There's some inexperience at the deep side, field judge, side judge, back judge. So hoping that they'll get it right. I'm confident that the front four is in decent shape, even though Killens at umpire did play for San Francisco. It was a while ago. Matt says 49ers 27-20. I think it'll be at least that, maybe 31-20. What else to say? Oh, Super Bowl is selling margarita cocktail for $30.99 a glass. Well, hopefully it's in a souvenir glass.
Half for 30, you should get a whole set. But anyway,
freaking bottle. All right, V. Really good analysis on the defense there. Thank you for that. Who are you going with on Sunday?
Oh yeah, I'm going Niners, just because of that love for the Chiefs.
Well, and haven't they been the best team all year? I mean,
and we want to break this. We don't want them to win. Well, I don't, because that would start that dynasty per se if they win this one. So I want to just to say that, hey, somebody broke that. So we don't want to hear that dynasty crap.
Yeah, well, and unfortunately, I understand what you're saying
Yeah.
there, but the Kansas City franchise with what they've done these past, and it sickens me to say this, but that is a dynastic
Oh
accomplishment.
yeah.
It is a
Yeah.
dynastic accomplishment. I don't want them to win another one because remember, if they win one more, they have four,
That's right.
and they would be leading the AFC
That's
West as
right.
far as Super Bowls.
Absolutely.
Let them stick around three, and hopefully, and my boy Angelo Reyes was the one who was saying that he firmly believes that this is the last of their runs. And I said, Angelo, I said that when the Bengals finally took us out of history. I said it last year that we don't have to see the Chiefs anymore because they barely got past the Eagles because of some bad calls again at the very end. I've been saying it for a couple years. I want this year to be the truth when I say, you out of here, and I don't want to see you anymore.
I think it has a lot to do maybe with because Mahomes isn't going anywhere. So it has a lot to do with the rest of the team and maybe even the coaching staff. I think if Kelsey retires, I think if Andy Reid retires, there could be a lot of things different in Kansas City that can't be overcome by Mahomes, which is one of the reasons why I think Brady left New England when he did. I think he kind of saw the writing on the wall and decided that, I don't want to go. I don't want to go out a winner in New England. I don't think, and he had that ability because he'd been there so long already. I don't know if Mahomes is going to have that luxury. So it doesn't mean I don't think that Mahomes will continue to be successful depending on what the Chiefs do. But I think you're right, Cap. Their run as we've known it for the last 4 years or so might be in jeopardy given some of the things that changes because, Kelsey's not getting any younger. No question that he's been prolific at what he's done so far. But it'll be interesting to see. And I don't know how much longer Andy Reid wants to hang around and do what he's doing. He's having a lot of fun, but I think if they win, he might decide to go out on top. If they don't win, maybe he comes back. But I think in any case, the Chiefs have a little bit of rebuilding to do. So we'll see what happens. So Anna was saying that you got to be concerned when the locals are talking about the officiating crew and hoping to get the game right. That's what we're all hoping for. I can tell you already that they've been talking about this amongst themselves now for the better part of 2 weeks. They'll be as ready as they can be, and I don't know if there's anyone who could prepare them better for this than Vinovich. It's rare for officials to get two Super Bowls, much less three. So this is his third. Joins the company of a few others. There's only been one Super Bowl. There's only been one official, one referee to get 4 Super Bowls. That was Jerry Markbright. So he kind of set the standard there with 4. Nobody's had more than 4. And Jerry's the only one who's had 4. There's been several who have had 3. Now Vinovich joins that group. But I don't know of anybody out there in today's group of white hats that will be better at preparing them for what's going to go down. And anyone who will set the standard for high expectations. Again, I know this guy. Didn't spend a lot of time with him in Dallas, but you could learn more from this guy in 5 minutes than you can learn from other officials in 20 years. So that officiating crew will be as ready as they can be, and he'll put them through the paces to make sure that.
Is this his swan song too? Is this the end of Bill Vinovich?
I was thinking that too,
I would say no. Because I think he still feels like he can do this. He had several years off there when he had his heart valve problem, but he's been back since 2012. He's been at the top of his game ever since. And I think the NFL would want him to stay because they just don't have that leadership at the top. They've got guys that are coming. Again, Clete Blakeman was close. Sean Hockley is close. They've got some guys that are close, but you need that Jim Tunney. You need that Ed Hockley. You need that guy at the top who, when he walks in the room, everybody goes, "Oh, that guy," amongst anybody else, and he is that now. And so I would say no. I would say my guess would be he'd be around for at least a couple more years on the field. And he'll probably certainly, if he wants to be, certainly be around a long time after that. I wouldn't mind if he became supervisor actually of officials, so we could dump those clowns we've got over there now, because I think things might improve a little bit. What was one of the comments I saw? Can we talk about the draft? Yes, we
Yeah, I
can
saw
talk about
that
the
one
draft. James had a couple questions. We talk about the draft. One of his questions was who's going to be the Raiders quarterback next season. I think we pretty well covered the Super Bowl, but if you have another comment for that, fine. But then let's talk Raiders a little bit.
But before you get there, it's Greg Papa, James. Bob Papa is the other Papa that's on the radio.
Yeah.
So it's Greg Papa.
Yeah.
I just wanted to look.
Yeah, I saw that too.
As well.
Yeah,
it's Greg Papa, not Bob.
Yeah, John Hussey's kind of a wild card in this whole thing with regards to the seniority of officials. Not really sure what his status is relative to the rank and file. He's a good guy. But as a white hat, I don't know. Anyway.
Not in that upper echelon, you don't think?
I think he could be. I think he's just kind of getting lost in the backwash of some other guys that are coming up. Adrian Hill, and Land Clark is coming up. They've just got guys that are just starting to come up, and I think you're starting to see the kind of this stuff going on. You got Bill up here, and you got Cleet up here, and then you got Sean in here, and then John's kind of like this, just kind of dropping into the middle. Doesn't mean he's not good. Doesn't mean he's not worthy.
Right.
He was a divisional round official, which means that you're pretty darn good, right? Because the championship officials are the ones that were, this close to being the best, but they weren't. So they gave them the championship game because your Super Bowl officials have to come from the divisional round, which seems odd because you think, well, they're not as good as the championship officials. Well, actually, they're as good. At least the 7 that were in the divisional round that are in the Super Bowl or as good. Not the whole crews of all the officials in the divisional round were that good. So it's just one of those things. I think John just kind of bounces around in there, does a good job. But he doesn't benefit from publicity. And then you got somebody like Brad Allen, right, whose crew goes to Dallas, and has what's perceived to be this huge problem with regards to the Lions game, and then none of his officials get playoff games. So crazy with that. Nacho said his wife said the agent was a joke. That Nacho is not coming to.
Yeah, that Ocho Cinco. We were talking about that. Yeah, they said it was a. I said we don't know because I was looking for something from the Raiders and.
Yeah. Cool.
Always good to hear from Jimmy Firpo. I hope that you got a chance to. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Missing Ed today. He must be in meetings or something. But so let's get to James's question so he doesn't get frustrated.
Yeah.
He's put some stuff out there. He wants to talk draft, but let's talk Raiders quarterback. Where do you guys think we're going to go with that? I know it's all speculative at this point, but we have each of us have our own thoughts on that. Let's focus on that because no one's going to get our opinions from somewhere else. They can get all kinds of other things from everybody.
Right, from everybody.
But let's go with what you guys think should happen at that position.
What I've been hearing is that they like this kid Rattler that played in the Senior Bowl.
Yeah,
they fell in love with him. They already had their eye on Penix, but sounds like Rattler outplayed Penix, and they also like Bo Nix. So look for any of those 3 without them giving away the farm, so to speak.
Right.
And I don't think the McCarthy kid would fit our system at all. Personally.
No, I think he ends up somewhere else.
Yeah.
Actually, I bet you. Okay. And again, since Vegas is a betting town, I would lay money if this was available that the Chargers trade back up into the end of the first round to get to draft JJ McCarthy so that they get an extra year of him on the contract because Harbaugh is in love with him. He's not going to go get him with that early pick at number 5 or whatever they're at. But I wouldn't be surprised if he trades back up into the first round to acquire him, a la what the Ravens did when they got Jackson with the 32nd pick because that
Right.
remember he was a first rounder, but at 32,
32.
the Ravens traded back up to get that extra
Yeah.
year for him. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. If it does happen, I want this memorialized on a show that Captain Jack said this. I want
There
it
you
done.
go.
I want it done.
Well, yeah, and there's proof here because it's been recorded already, so we can always play it back.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't rule out us ending up with Fields, even though I'm kind of saying let him stay in Chicago, but don't be surprised if we end up with Fields some kind of way.
No, I disagree on that. There, hey, since we're going back to last week, I disagree. Okay, with the thing, if they bring over the what's his nose, Luke Getsy,
the
BROC, and he's already had his 2 years fill of trying to get Justin Fields to bow to his playbook,
right.
And it didn't work. It didn't work. Now, if it had worked at least a little bit of the time, or enough of the time that he said that it would be worthwhile, yeah, I could see that. But I don't see the Raiders. I don't see the Raiders giving the Bears anything for him because Getsy already knows what he knows about him, and it's square peg round hole type of shit, and I don't think it's going to happen.
And they tell you, I see Kurt's name in there. Kirk Cousins has been talked about quite a bit too, along with Russell Wilson, because he would be the cheapest veteran that we can get.
Yeah, Matt,
because of his contract.
Matt, I'm going to ban you from the show. He says Adams is asking for Kirk Cousins. Oh my God,
no! He had mentioned him. I heard him.
Oh God, you got to be kidding me.
I saw it. He mentioned it. He just threw it out there. But
as long as he doesn't cost $90 million.
Two teams have paid him billions of dollars for him to go out there and crap all over the field. No,
you know what
I was only kidding, Matt. No, I was only kidding, Matt. I'm only kidding. But my point isn't with Matt's comment. Really, it's the fact that I do not want Kirk Cousins.
Well, I don't think that you don't have to even go there for Kirk. If there's going to be a vet that's affordable, I think you go. It could be Wilson, but it could also be Joe Flacco.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, forgot about Joe. But here's the deal with Wilson. His wife wants to get back into the industry.
Yep,
residency.
Wilson. Who are you talking about, Wilson? What
Wilson? Russell Wilson. Yeah, because Sierra would get a residency at Dre every friggin' Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Plus, we get him for nothing, Coach, because Denver's still paying him.
Yeah, we pay him vet minimum, and the rest the rest of the contract goes and is paid by the donkeys, and we just giggle.
I'll tell you this: a free Russell Wilson, if you will be better than AOC4. I just not impressed with him. Cap, I know that you properly defended him because of the offensive line issues, blah blah, but just decision making doesn't seem to me to be where it needs to be. He doesn't. I don't like the way he delivers the ball. I don't know what the upside is for him.
I always go back to, and I'm going to say a dirty word here. What were we really all that enamored with Derek Carr after his first year?
Take him over AOC4.
After his first year, were we really that enamored with Derek Carr? And he started from day one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he did.
And he had a better offensive line. But I don't know. I think the Raiders have to do something there at quarterback.
Well, like I said,
I agree with
you're going to get a vet. You're going to get a vet. You got Brown there. You got AOC4, and then you got a quarterback TBD in the draft that either drops or we finagle to get. And like I said, Spencer Rattler. I've seen Spencer Rattler, and Spencer Rattler is a good quarterback, but I don't know whether he would fit Getsy's system.
Yeah,
Spencer Rattler is more of a run and shoot type of quarterback.
Like Arizona,
gotcha.
Like Arizona, maybe.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's like a taller version of Murray.
Okay. running kind of a K-gun system that the Bills used. Gotcha.
Yeah, because he was at Oklahoma, and then he went to South Carolina, and
That's right.
he left Oklahoma because they weren't playing him enough. He said, "Well,
Playing.
screw you, I'm going to go to South Carolina," and he played rather well at South Carolina.
What was this? Fields missed a lot of throws, and Reed.
Wow.
Was it Sanjay?
Sanjay, he does like
made a good video about Getsy.
Yeah, but the video about Getsy shows what the offense could do, and it also shows you that Fields was just not doing it.
Yeah, James says, what about Minshew? My problem with Minshew isn't, I think he's better ALC 4, but he needs a running game. He can't win games just throwing the ball. I think it's pretty obvious. Look at their last game against Houston. Not that his receivers didn't help him out there. And maybe there's some play calling in that regard. But I wouldn't be against Minshew if the Colts want to, put him on the waiver wire, but he needs a running game. And I'm not saying we don't have one, but if the whole Jacobs thing is up in the air, I know that we have some options at running back, but is that said, is the running game or rushing attack that we're going to have or want to have, how much of that do you think is going to influence where they go at quarterback, if at all?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guarantee you they got some big uglies on their board right now. Somebody put in there the OT from Penn State.
And you also got Talisa Fuaga out of Washington State.
And the kid out of Oregon, too.
I hear you on all that.
I'm sorry, Oregon State. Yeah, that's who it is.
Oregon State.
I hear you on all that, and I know that occasionally, you get the Orlando Pace in the draft. But I got to tell you, back in 2004, I was all in on Robert Gallery when he was at Iowa, and I was like, Raiders are nuts not to take him number one. We saw how that didn't work out.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought
T-Rex arms. I said that the intangibles for the kids out of Penn State and Oregon State is a wingspan.
Well, that's helpful.
And actually Latham out of Alabama. I know it's really early to start talking Alabama tackles when we had the conundrum.
Yeah, I know.
That was Alex Leatherwood a couple years ago. But Latham is actually, his intangibles are there, and I think that if we do go there, I think that he ain't gonna just like Leatherwood did.
Yeah. But in Matt's point, there's Jacobs and White could be a good 1-2 punch next year. I agree with that. But why weren't they that this year? Why would it be any different next year? And I'm not saying he's not right, because I think he is right. But I wanted that to be this year, and it didn't happen this year. In fact, I think if they gave up Jacobs as draft capital, while we could still get something for him, not that I want him to go anywhere, but I'm not sure he's his old self. Didn't we have somebody behind White that did pretty good?
Well, Britton Brown was in was on the IR, the kid out of UCLA, so he's another guy. You got the kid that played out of UTEP, Sincere McCormick, who is another option.
Yeah,
and
he's pretty good.
And he's on the IR. So, you bring those guys that are off the IR back and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Hey, and Jacobs might say, and I agree. Amir Abdullah was a good third down back.
And they were smart to move Gallery to guard anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But tackle. He just
he wasn't that. But anyway, but my point was, with the running game, we have options without Jacobs, so we can run the ball effectively.
Yeah,
maybe we're not flashy. Maybe we're not like Marcus Allen flashy, so to speak. But we can run the ball if we need to, right? I mean, you look back in the days where when Clem Daniels was gone and we had Banaszak and Hubbard, that wasn't flashy.
But it was effective.
But Banaszak got you 6 yards. Casper got you 3, and then Hubbard got you the 1. Because they always used to say about Banaszak, if he needed 1 yard, he'd get you 1 yard.
If you needed 4 yards, he'd get you 1 yard.
1 yard, yeah.
That's right.
But that's what roosters are for. It's just to walk around and look good.
And
But
remember, they also had Clarence Davis on that. So you had Clarence Davis, you had
Mark
Hubbard,
Van Egan,
and,
though,
well, yeah, but during these times, that they
yeah,
almost always had a great
Committee.
RPC.
fullback,
Yeah.
They
yeah.
had a committee.
Yeah, they did, but it was fairly effective. And I think that if they dusted off some of those old playbooks, we could go back to that. Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson put us in rushing categories that we had never seen before, and probably haven't seen since, maybe never see again, quite frankly. But I mean, aside from Bo Jackson, who was a big splash, and had he not gotten injured, would have just torn the record books up, I think. Marcus Allen, I'm not taking anything away from Bo Jackson, he just didn't play long enough. I mean, and I've seen pretty much all the backs since Jim Brown. Marcus Allen, one of the best backs I've ever seen. When you start looking at running the ball, catching the ball, throwing the ball, not that other backs didn't do that. But I don't recall the last time I saw, Emmitt Smith, who was a fine running back, obviously, throw a touchdown pass. So Marcus Allen was so versatile in everything that he did. One of the best backs I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of them. But in any case, if we could run by committee, does that make Jacobs? Does he stay a Raider, or do you think he goes somewhere else?
Jacobs better bring his price tag down, or if
Yeah.
he says
There you go.
if he wants to be a Raider, and we
Sure.
say this
gonna
is
have to
our plan. This
Yeah.
is our plan.
Yeah.
If you want to be a part of it, it's going to cost you. But if you want to stay with the team that you love, it's no hate and discontent if we sign you to like a 4-year deal at maybe 7.5 a year. Was that 30 million? Something like that.
Over the term. Yeah.
Right. Over the term. So it's like if they do it right, saying, hey, you're going to be what, like 28 or something? So we get him until he's 32. If he signs a 4-year deal, that's not bad.
No, it's not. It's not. If he can stay healthy, help us out.
Wow.
So we've talked a lot about the offense. Let's talk a little bit with the time we have left with the defense. Just one thing I want to get out of the way right off the bat, because we've touched on this before. And on the over-under, I'm just going to put it out there because it's fun. We need some controversy. Jacob says he will take a hometown discount if AP stays. Okay, fine.
A whole lot.
Fine by me.
Well, he's already staying. So what the hell?
Well, then
I think that came out before he had been, the interim tag had been taken off, because I seen that earlier.
So one last comment on offense then. So Adams is happy, so to speak, if you will, because AP stayed, blah, blah, blah. What about Renfro? Is he in or out?
Ooh, good one. I think he's gone.
He's out. Okay,
and it's because of his contract.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Then we've got some work at receivers to do too, right?
Well, I figured Jacoby Myers was basically
slide him right in there.
So he's gonna
was one. So basically all you need is somebody that can run lines. Well, no, Jacoby Myers is in the slot, and you got the kid that we drafted to run 9 patterns, and you got Devontae Adams. You got all that you really need right there, and you got Mayer at tight end. So all you need is
DJ Turner too, right? He's just special teams,
right?
DJ,
all right.
He's mostly special teams, right?
Yeah, good kid too. By the way, I got a chance to talk to him during that autograph signing.
Well, really hopefully the Bears reject OC can get something out of these guys. Let's go to defense a little bit. There's some chatter about Khalil Mack being available. Any chance he comes back to the Raiders?
If he doesn't price himself too high, I think that he would like to come to it. Actually, I really think it. Right. It also what was his rapport with Telesco in Los Angeles? If the rapport was good, the chances are better. If the rapport, if he didn't have a good rapport with Telesco, he's not going to come back to play for the Raiders and Telesco. So you gotta see what that was in Los Angeles. I don't know.
Yeah, GA's asking if we covered coaches. We did actually. He says he's all in on Getsy. I'm Switzerland on that. I think that he's not the worst option. Maybe wasn't the best option, but he's better than some of the other people they floated around out there that I'm glad that are not there. So I guess it is what it is. So let's see where you can go with that. Okay, defensively, we need help all over the place here.
remember, and I'm sorry there, Ref, because
No.
we didn't cover it before, but we did pick up the former defensive coordinator for the Jaguars that's on this staff as well. I don't know what his position is, but when you have a guy that was also a former defensive coordinator to help out with Graham, who's already been that defensive coordinator, done a lot for the job, that's a plus.
Matt says Bosa might be on the chopping block, and
I've heard that myself.
I'll tell you what, man. If he could, I don't know that he's got a lot left, quite frankly.
No,
He can't stay healthy. He can't.
No, I wouldn't spend a dime on Bosa. I would spend more on Mac.
I agree with you on that front. But what if you could get both?
No.
What if you could get a package deal? I'm just throwing it out there.
I got a package deal right here,
I know.
and I still, you know.
But maybe you send Jacobs and a couple other clowns over there for those two guys. Is half of Bosa across from Crosby better than nobody essentially across from Crosby? Could you put Bosa somewhere else? I agree with you. Mac's a better option, but Mac's going to be a situational guy. He's not going to be able to play all the downs. So
yeah, but okay, well, if you use him as a situational guy, Kuntz has played well this year, and they moved Wilson in, and prior to Janarius Robinson having a brain F up for the DUI the other day, he played well in situations too. So I think that we would be set there. I'd take Mac on a decent contract, not even worry about Bosa, because I think you let Mac be the situational guy. Hi, Kerry, good to see you,
Kerry.
Yeah. Okay.
I like what Matt said about Chris Jones, because I've heard that he's been approached by several of our defensive guys to come on over, and I'm sure they're working on him this week. I would be all in on that, even at his price tag, because he's still a pretty relatively young guy, been pretty relatively healthy, but he's just a beast, man. Put him in the middle.
You stay with a 4-3?
I would stay 4-3, yeah. If you bring him in, yeah.
Make him a nose tackle, put Mac out there, and go to a 3-4.
That's it. So who are you gonna double team across that line? That's what I'm envisioning us doing. Getting such a formidable front line.
Yeah.
That it changes how the offense blocks them.
Well, it changes everything, because your defensive backs then are totally doing something else now, right? Yeah. Because they're not having to cover for a weak defensive line. They're essentially you could do all kinds of things in the secondary when your front four or even your linebackers are filling some gaps and tackling some guys, right?
True.
From that standpoint. So speaking of secondaries, where do you think the Raiders are with their secondary?
Well,
corners and safeties.
Yeah, Jones is a keeper. Thank God we got him on a song. Yeah. And everybody's talking about Jalen Johnson from the Bears. Maybe he comes over. It depends on what his price tag is. But here's the thing.
I would take Mayfield for 1 year.
Mayfield's staying in Tampa. I'll put money on that. He already said as much on he didn't realize his microphone was on when he was on Radio Row the other day.
Is my mic on? Hello, testing.
Yeah. Okay. Here. Can you see this? Can you see this? Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Anyway, point being is that no. What was I talking about? Oh, if Jalen Jones is available and there's a rapport with Luke Getsy, he's available. But remember, if you're spending a lot of money on Chris Jones, and then you're going to go after Jalen Johnson, and then you're looking at maybe getting Khalil Mack, and I'll say his name because he's a possible free agent. That's all your money, man. That's all your money. That you got no money left. You really got no money left. Who's going to be your quarterback? V will be quarterback for a vet minimum. You know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can't hit me anyway.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Interesting. Okay.
But I'm hoping we build that D. Like free agency is important, but I hope we draft well on that D side. So we've got, say, 3 or 4 studs for 4 years, at least 3 on a rookie contract, and just let them ball out.
Mm-hmm. Quarterback is a bit of a need.
Yeah. we might lose Amik though.
It
I've
has been
hearing
for a
yeah.
while.
Yeah, Amik is going to go. Somebody's going to pay Amik, and they're going to make him a starter.
Yeah, I've been hearing that we might lose him in it.
Hey, good to see our boy over
Red
there.
Nation Drinking Club.
Thor, yeah, Thor.
That's Thor,
Good to see you,
yeah.
Thor. Yep, legends of the game: Tim Brown, Rod Woodson, Eric
Yep.
Dickerson, Icky Woods.
Icky
Good to see you
Woods.
there, Thor. Make
What's
sure
up,
you
brother?
put your time up. I got a show tonight, but if people are going over to your channel because of that, I wouldn't be offended. I wouldn't be offended. What time is your show, Thor? Yee. Give me a time.
Yes, sir.
While we're waiting on the answer, you guys know I almost took down Icky Woods, don't you?
Took him down.
Yeah.
I want to
wrestling?
hear. I want to hear this.
Yeah.
Arm wrestling, right?
No.
Oh.
So I'm at an alumni event for one of the Super Bowls.
Oh, okay. It's a rebroadcast. Thanks, Thor.
It was raining like son of a gun. Going down the stairs. Guy in front of me going down the stairs. I slipped on the stairs. Damn near took out Icky Woods from the backside.
Wow.
Yeah. He's quite the load. I would not want to hit that more than once. I can assure you that. Fortunately, it didn't take him down or tear his ACL or anything. I was banged up, but he was fine.
I know that girl. I wouldn't want to hit her more than once too.
Yeah. Let's see who is going in the Hall of Fame tonight.
Oh, that's right.
Randy Gradishar.
Yeah, he's due. He's due. And it's amazing that he isn't already in.
I know, right? And what about was it Carl Mecklenburg?
Carl's not in either.
He was no slouch.
Yeah.
From that standpoint.
He was a bigger beast than Gradishar to me, you know.
Yeah.
But two different positions, but
yeah. There was a lot of good people on the list this year. Obviously, there's a lot of good people all the time.
I didn't even look. I think
I didn't see it either.
Is EA still on the list?
Who?
Eric Allen?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Marcus Sound stopped by.
Well,
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Eric Allen would be. I think Eric Allen is due. He's definitely deserving as well.
Definitely a Raider, man. Just still has that mentality when you talk to him, man. That's what amazes me, that it's still there.
He contributed a lot when he was there.
I
mean, obviously he had some outstanding seasons in Philadelphia before he came over too. Any Raiders in the Hall of Fame tonight? No.
Maybe unless Eric Allen gets in.
Unless Eric Allen gets in,
Yeah, unless Eric Allen gets in, the answer is going to be no.
Yeah, I mean we're missing. I think we're missing the big four: Wisniewski, Hayes, Plunkett, and Trask. I think there's at least the big four. You could argue for others, but you know, I don't know why Wiz isn't in there.
But Wiz and Lester, they should have been in already.
Yeah,
and Plunkett, of course. Yeah,
Plunkett should have been in
for all of them
millions of years ago. I don't understand why he's not in.
And I would be remiss in letting folks know, if you are in, I think it's Lodi, I can't remember, but go on my Instagram, and I pushed where Lester Hayes is having a signing. Yeah, I think Saturday. Yeah. Lester Hayes is having a signing on Saturday. I think it's Lodi. I might be
somewhere
wrong.
around that area, because I saw that.
But yeah, go see Lester and tell Lester that Captain Jack sent you, please. It would be great, because Lester is a fantastic guy, and I put it on my Instagram because I will do anything to promote Lester, because he's awesome. And I thank you for saying, people that should be in. Go see Lester. And by the way, when you get an autograph from Lester Hayes, it's not just a scribble and go. He will talk to you for about 10 minutes. So you will get your money's worth.
Wow.
He is entertaining. He's not a scribble and go. He will sit down and talk with you. Great guy.
That'd be fun. Maybe you could get him on this show.
I can try.
That'd be cool. Stuck in Lodi again, yeah. Yeah. Again. That's what got me, was the again.
I know that's wrong.
Man of the Year award. Who will win the Walter Payton Man Award? You know what? I think it's going to be Hayward out of Pittsburgh. That's what I think.
You think so?
I don't know enough about.
Oh yeah, Ironhead. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
man, yeah.
Ironhead's kid, but yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know enough about what everybody's done.
I think
Yeah.
they're all
That's true.
obviously they're all deserving if they got nominated,
Yeah.
right? But I think the kid for Pittsburgh wins it this year. It's his sixth time of getting nominated.
Getting nominated, right?
I think that's remarkable. I mean, it's one thing to get nominated once or even twice, 3 times in a row, 4 times. This guy's got the hat trick times 2, and here we go.
I was going to say he's got the double hat trick. So
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
If you must go in, and he must go in hard.
Oh, foo, yeah.
Oh yeah, Filipino.
Yeah.
Max is up for
and Phil should be in. I think Phil's going to be given a what do you call it? The old timers get in ballot one of these days.
The seniors committee.
Yeah, because he's kind of like the guy from the Colts that you were talking about. That was just he was so wonderful as an orator and a storyteller. Donovan, thank you. And what he did as a player, on top of the fact of what he does as a mouthpiece for the NFL, you got to give Villapiano some shrift, and I think that
I would
he'll
agree
do that.
with you. Yeah, it's interesting because there are few people that act as that bridge.
Yeah.
Right. That communications bridge throughout all the years. I mean, for the most part, people that could have done that have been relatively silent. Dan Marino's been relatively silent. John Elway's relatively silent up until recently. Montana's been silent. These guys that did all these things that could be out there doing all these things are not out there. Villapiano's always been out there doing that, and I think that speaks a lot to that.
I call
Captain,
that
he should be in the Hall of Fame. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Long overdue. Long overdue for that. Lincoln Kennedy, Hall of Fame.
And I like Lincoln
too, but
I like Lincoln, but you'd have to figure out the tackles that are already vying for the Hall of Fame that haven't been put in yet.
Yeah, there aren't a lot,
he would be up against them.
Yeah, but I tell you what, though, had the Raiders won Super Bowl 37, some of these guys, like of course, Wisniewski retired the year prior, unfortunately. The 1 year he came back the year prior. He came back for one more thinking they were going to win it, didn't do it, then retired, then they go to Super Bowl. And I'm bummed that he didn't get that chance to play in the Super Bowl because I think he could have helped that offensive line a lot that day, especially with Barrett Robbins. But I think if the Raiders win Super Bowl 37, some of these other guys that we're talking about that are on the margin probably get over the hump on that. Hall of Thick Frames. Yeah. Okay.
And like I said, Lincoln is a close personal friend of myself and Wayne. And no offense to Lincoln, I said, but there are people that are not in the Hall of Fame that played tackle, offensive tackle, and haven't made it yet. And that's why I always say, for all you people that are screaming about Sebastian Janikowski, if you get Vinatieri in there, I'll listen to you. Okay, Vinatieri should be in the Hall of Fame as a kicker. So you get Vinatieri in as a kicker, then you can start talking about Sebastian Janikowski. That's my point. I think that Lincoln is a very viable candidate, but he's going to have to go against some people that are,
stiff competition. Yeah,
very
well.
Stiff.
I had said the original 4, but you could make that 6 by adding Seabass and Leckler actually. Leckler is as worthy as some of the others, but special teams guys are tough to get in. I mean, Devin Hester.
That's right. Look at Hester right now.
Yeah, I mean, if Hester gets in, Henry Lawrence, if Hester gets in, it won't be because of anything he did except for the wow factor of returning kicks, because he wasn't really much as a wide receiver. I don't remember that he contributed much at all, except on a special team. Not that wasn't important, including his kickoff return for a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Shoes, Daniel. Shoes. That's German. Goodbye.
Yeah. Okay. Good night, y'all. But interesting. Hall of Fame punter's wing should be Raiders only. With the exception of maybe of Reggie Roby.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Left-footed.
Yeah, there were some pretty decent punters out there, but yeah, I agree. It should be the Raiders punter's wing, and then you can put anybody else in there you want to, I guess. But all right, everybody. This is our last show for 2023 season. We're going to be on hiatus for a while after the Super Bowl. We probably will come back with a draft, a preview show or scheduled release show sometime in April or May. So continue to follow us and keep track of what we're doing. But from all of us here at NFL Nation Live, thank you for joining us this season. It was great to have you. We appreciate you as fans. We hope that we give you a place to go. We hope that we give you a voice. We hope that you are satisfied that we listen to those voices and respond to those, because you're as knowledgeable as some of the people out there getting paid a lot of money to dump trash in our face every day, when you guys actually know the game for real. From myself, from Captain Jack, from Violator, we wish you all the best for the rest of 2024. We'll see you back here in September. You guys have any closing comments before we sign off for the 2023 season?
Look, I would just like to say, follow up on Ref and say thank everybody for listening to our shows. We try to be educational, a little bit funny, absolutely 100% real with you. And just look forward to you sharing the words with others, bring others in next year. But remember, it's about every team in the league. So we cover everybody.
For those that need to be covered, there are some that probably don't really need to be covered.
Well, yeah. But we mention them all.
Yeah.
We mention them all.
We do, and there's a reason for that, because we want the fans to have a voice. And I realize that we're Raiders heavy here, but there's a lot of Raider fans in the show. If we ended up where we were 50-50 with Dolphins fans, maybe we talk more about the Squish the Fish t-shirts. But for now, here we are. Cap, any closing comments?
Well, I'll just say, first off, I want to say thanks for everybody for watching what we do. This was the end of year 5. I think I've been on for 3.5 or 4 of them.
3.5, yeah.
3.5 of them. So full 3.5 of 2, and I have fun. I tell you what, there's nothing that I enjoy more than getting a chance to collaborate with. I'm gonna get it right with that guy. See, I got it right on the first time too. And that guy, because I have fun with y'all. I get a chance to be me. I get a chance to show you all my hats.
Yes,
okay. I mean, I get a chance. I mean, this is the hat outlet right here, and I got my hoodie over there as well. But if we get a chance to hang out with you, and you enjoy what we do, tell your friends. I know that, like I said, this is very Raider centric. But anytime you see anybody that is a fan of football, let them know that there is a show that covers the entire NFL. Yeah, it's done by a bunch of Raider guys, but we cover the entire NFL. And there's nothing better than that. And we all have fun. And if you want to know which zebra is going to F up your parade, that's when that guy is over there for you. So you can't beat it. So I thank you. And if you don't see me for 3 weeks or 3 months, it's because I'm doing other things, but I didn't forget you. I just got to take care of me for a little while. So don't be mad. Don't be mad at me, but I will come back as soon as I can. But hey, and thank you, Jimmy Farrell. I know which uncle you're talking about because we discussed it. I'd love to have him on a show because I have anybody that's a relative to a Raider that wants to sit and talk with us is always a good time. And again, not that I'm not verbose, because I'm very introverted. I need to break out of my show. So there you go. But
we're glad you have a place that you can do that, Cap.
Exactly. This is therapy, man. This is therapy.
It is.
It's good therapy.
It is pretty good. Yeah.
And finally, I will say this so we can log off. Yeah, Raider Nation.
That's it.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Drop in the microphone one last time.
That's right.
Make sure you come back and see us real soon. And it's not in the time. Yeah.
Draft release show.